decided to do a video tutorial instead of just pictures. I think it'll be a lot easier for you to understand how my hands are moving. So this is the type of bow that we're going to be making. It's just a regular boutique bow. And I'm going to eventually show you how to make layered stack bows, but this bow is on the top and on the bottom. So if you can't make this, you're not going to be able to do this one. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to show you everything you need to make this bow. You're going to need a lighter to seal the ends, scissors, your ribbon choice, and I chose 1.5 inches. It's just a lot easier to maneuver. You also need 3/8 ribbon to tie the knots. You need a glue stick and a glue gun. You'll need thread and a needle, and you'll also need a pen. So what you're going to do first is let me show you the measurements. I decided to make a chart because nowhere else I had found a chart. So I made these of my own. This is how I measure my ribbons. I go by a small, medium, large, or extra large, and then I cut a certain amount of inches, so every bow is the same size. We're going to do a 3-inch medium bow, which I cut 22 inches, and then we go in 1 inch and mark the ribbon every 5 inches, and I'll show you what I mean about that in 1 second. So what you do first is go ahead and take your ribbon, and you're going to cut it at 22 inches. This one's just a little bit bigger than I need it to be. Then I'm going to take the pen and I'm going to mark it in, like I said, 1 inch. Go in 1 inch. I just slide it over, and now I'm going to make it a mark every 5 inches. So mark on the 5, mark on the 5, mark on the other 5, and down here. And now you'll see that the end is in 1 inch, so it makes it perfect. 1 inch in, 1 inch in, we mark every 5 inches. Then what I do is I just turn it, doesn't matter which way, and I cut my ribbons at an angle. I don't like straight edges and bows. You might like it. A lot of people also do V cuts. Just depends. So for right now, I'm just going to show you this cut. You then take your lighter or what you're using. Some people use fray check. This is just quicker and easier for me. You simply go over it very quickly just to seal the end. You don't want your ribbons fraying. It helps your bow stay together easier without little threads coming undone. So then what you do is you take your ribbon. I like to have my pointed edges down, and you start with the first line, dot, whatever you marked. You're going to take it and match them up to the second one. Now you'll see I just curved around and curved up. I like it pointing at an angle. Some people do it straight. That doesn't make a good loop. You need to have it at an angle. Then you take your next dot, you're going to match it up and pull it over. You see this one's going at an angle. I don't want them straight, I want them angled. Then you can see the bottom loop of the bow is formed already. You look behind you and you see the other dot. You can push it to the back. Now the big thing about the back one is you don't want them even. Some people would put it down here. You want this to give a little bit of space. You don't want them to line up exactly with the bottom. Then I take my last dot and I put it down. And you'll see I like to make them form, looks like they go together. It keeps the loops even. So there you go. Then you take your needle and thread. I come up through the back, just in the center, and pull it right up. Pull it through. I like to sew my bows. A lot of people use different things. I think this is just the easiest for me. And I pull it over the top, and I come down the bottom. What I do first is I crinkle the top before I wrap it all up. I bend it in backwards and point it down, try to just squish it in there. And then I'll come up finally, and I squish the middle in, put the box down, and then I wrap it a few times. After I wrap it a few times, I just come up the back, make a little loop, and tie and knock the bow off. Now some people, like I said, use other things like floral wire, stuff like that to get their bows to stay. I just like sewing mine better. So what you do is just knot your thread so you don't lose it. And now you have a bow. Now what some people will do is just use one simple bow. I'll show you how to knot it in a second. Or we can stack them. As you can see, this is a stacked bow. I made this one earlier, and this one you could stack, and there you go. If you knotted it, you have 2-layer bow. So if you do the different sizes, this is a 2-inch, this is a 3-inch. All right, now to make a knot for this, what I do is I cut 7 inches off first. Sorry, I told you need clips too for your bows. Whether you want double prong, which is I think these are easier, they match up with the 3/8 a lot better. Or if you use single prong, they just don't fit as nicely in the ribbon. I like to cover all my ribbon ends. Some people just put on their prongs, their double clips, and I just don't like that. So now we're going to take our glue gun. And we're going to put some glue down. And I just stick my clip on it. It's all nice and hot. And then I just do the rest like this. One long line. Some people do it a little bit at a time. But it's pretty easy. Just open it up and then stick it in. And what you have to do is you have to cut 7 inches, and look, that matches it perfect. 7 inches fits double prong clips very easily. Then what I do is I cut another about 5 inches off. Doesn't really matter. Just guess. Estimate. And I tie a knot. Just like that. Now I take a dot of glue, put it in the center of my bow. And put my knot in the center. So now you have that hot glued. Sometimes you'll have glue edges, strings coming off. Pull those off. You don't want nobody to see that. I then take the back straight edge of my double prong clip and I glue that to the back of my bow. Then I like to measure just so I can see how much I need. I fold over my ribbon, I cut off the excess because I'm going to seal it under here. Let's cut off another piece. So now I can open my bow and put a little hot glue inside. Look at my clip, sorry. And put a little hot glue inside. Pull that up, seal it, let it close, press down. And another piece of hot glue in there. Let it go across, seal that one. Close it up, and get all this other extra hot glue off. And now you have a bow that they can wear immediately. It's perfect and so simple and easy to make. And like I said before you put your double clip or your center knot, you can just take it, sew them together. I would just put them together and then come through both, wrap it and tie it, and then I would put my center knot and a back on, and that's how I made this. So you just make a simple bow, and I'll leave the size instructions under this video so that you can have the measurements for yourself. And later on, I'll teach you how to add spikes, how to add the surroundo loops, and that way you can make a stacked bow, which this was for my girls' Halloween outfits to Disney. This is also one of the summer bows we like, which flip-flops, which every girl loves. You can even add more fun by adding rickrack, glitter trims, or even with this, we did marabou, and this is the same bow. You just put it in the center. Then you fill it with stuff and put a bigger one on the bottom and do your same clip and center knot. Or sometimes you can do flat knots, which they look nice in some bows too. And eventually I'll even help make a tutorial for rosettes, which I'm really getting into these now. They look adorable and vintage and so cute on the girls. So thank you so much for watching my tutorial. If you have any questions, just please let me know and I'll help you as much as I can. Thank you.